In a quiet town, there lived a young girl named Amina. She was bright and full of dreams, but her life was overshadowed by a dark secret. Amina lived with her father, who had once been loving and kind. But over the years, something changed in him. He became angry and cruel, and Amina felt the weight of his darkness. At first, it started with harsh words.
"You're worthless,"
he would say, his voice cold and sharp. Amina would shrink away, trying to disappear into the walls of their small home. She loved her father, but his words cut her deeply. She believed that if she tried harder, she could make him happy again. As time went on, the abuse escalated. Amina's father began to blame her for everything that went wrong in his life. Whenever he had a bad day at work or felt stressed, he would take it out on her. His anger turned physical, and Amina learned to hide her bruises under long sleeves and pants, pretending that everything was okay. Despite the pain, Amina clung to the hope that one day her father would return to the loving man he used to be. She would bake his favorite cookies and try to make him smile. But each attempt only seemed to make him angrier, and the cycle of abuse continued. At school, Amina was quiet and withdrawn. She watched as her classmates laughed and played, wishing she could be like them. She felt alone, trapped in a world where no one understood her pain. Sometimes, she would stare out the window, dreaming of a better life, one where she could escape her father's darkness. One day, during art class, Amina was asked to draw her family. As she put pencil to paper, tears filled her eyes. She drew her father with a frown and herself looking small and sad. When her teacher saw the drawing, she approached Amina with concern. "Is everything okay at home?" she asked gently. Amina shook her head, too afraid to speak. The words were stuck in her throat, heavy and painful. She wanted to tell her teacher everything, but fear held her back. What if no one believed her? What if it made things worse at home? That night, after a particularly brutal encounter, Amina lay in bed, tears streaming down her cheeks. She felt so alone, as if the world had turned its back on her. As she stared at the ceiling, she made a silent promise to herself, she would find a way to break free. Days turned into weeks, and Amina continued to endure her father's abuse. But she also began to find small moments of strength. She started writing in a journal, pouring out her feelings and fears onto the pages. It became her secret escape, a place where she could express herself without judgment. One afternoon, while writing, Amina remembered something her mother had told her before she passed away. "You are stronger than you know, Amina. Always believe in yourself." Those words echoed in her heart, giving her a flicker of hope. Maybe she could find a way to be brave. Finally, Amina decided to confide in her best friend, Leila. One day after school, as they sat under a tree, Amina opened up about her father's behavior. "I feel so scared and alone," she whispered, her voice trembling. Leila listened intently, her eyes wide with shock. "Amina, that's terrible. You don't deserve to be treated like that. We need to tell someone," she urged. With Leila's encouragement, Amina found the courage to speak to a trusted teacher the next day. She took a deep breath and shared her story, feeling a mix of fear and relief as the words spilled out. Her teacher listened with compassion, assuring Amina that she would help her. Within days, Amina's life began to change. Authorities were contacted, and a safe place was found for her to live. It was hard to leave her home, but Amina felt a weight lift off her shoulders. She finally had a chance to heal and start anew. In her new environment, Amina found warmth and support. She made new friends, learned to trust again, and began to smile. Therapy helped her walk through her pain, and she discovered her own strength. Amina still carried scars from her past, but they no longer defined her. She learned that she was worthy of love and happiness. With each passing day, she grew more confident, determined to create a brighter future for herself. Years later, As Amina stood in front of a classroom of students, sharing her story, she felt a sense of pride. She was no longer a victim, she was a survivor. Through her journey, she found her voice, and she used it to inspire others. Amina's story became a beacon of hope for those who felt lost. She taught others that it's never too late to seek help and that strength can be found even in the darkest of times. She learned that love, support, and courage could conquer any fear, and she embraced the life she had fought so hard to reclaim.